11 sites throughout the United States will be planting chestnut saplings derived from the majestic tree that stood in the courtyard behind the Anne Frank house until falling prey to disease and toppling in a windstorm in 2010. Just 1 year prior, as part of our partnership with the Anne Frank House, the Centre received 11 saplings to share with worthy organisations across the United States, with a demonstrated commitment to upholding Anne's vision for a peaceful and more tolerant world. After reviewing proposals from dozens of organisations, our Sapling Project Committee selected the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial to receive one of these precious trees. It made perfect sense for one of the saplings to make its home here. And thanks to the dedication of the team at the Wasmuth Centre, this tiny tree has set down its roots and begun to grow in its beautiful new home here in Boise, the city of trees. The memorial's little tree is in good company, with saplings now planted on Boston Common, the Holocaust Memorial Center in Michigan, and on the west front lawn of the US Capitol, to name but 3. The remaining 4 saplings will be planted in the next 2 years at sites including Little Rock Central High School in Arkansas and Liberty Park, commemorating 9/11 in New York City. All 11 sapling sites demonstrated their commitment to bring together diverse communities in a shared celebration of Anne, her beloved chestnut tree, her appreciation of nature, and her longing for freedom and justice in the world. We cannot think of a more fitting location for this tiny sapling, surrounded by the wisdom of the world's humanitarian leaders and watched over by the beautiful bronze statue of Anne herself. The Anne Frank Center USA was founded in 1959 by Otto Frank, Anne's father, and is the oldest partner organization of the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam. We use the diary and the spirit of Anne Frank as unique tools to advance her legacy, to educate young people and communities across the United States about the dangers of intolerance, anti-Semitism, racism, and discrimination in all its forms, and to inspire the next generation to build a world based on equal rights and mutual respect. The Anne Frank Sapling Project and the ceremony and dedication today, as well as the many planting ceremonies to come at our partner locations, serve to commemorate Anne's vision as we know it from her diary. Since its first publication in 1947, Anne's diary has sold tens of millions of copies worldwide and has been published in more than 70 different languages. Anne's diary is one of the world's most widely read books of non-fiction. And although I cannot be sure, I like to imagine that Anne would be quite pleased knowing she's become something of an international celebrity. Like so many young people her age, Anne wanted to be independent and respected for who she was, not what others labeled her as. During her time in hiding, Anne struggled with her confinement, but was able to seek solace from looking out the single window left uncovered in the attic at the top of the secret annex. Nearly every morning I go to the attic to blow the stuffy air out of my lungs, she writes. From my favorite spot on the floor, I look up to the blue sky and the bare chestnut tree, on whose branches little raindrops shine, appearing like silver, and at the seagulls and other birds as they glide on the wind. As long as this exists, I thought, this sunshine and this cloudless sky, as long as I can enjoy it, how can I be sad? As long as this exists, and that should be forever, I know that there will be solace for every sorrow, whatever the circumstances. I firmly believe that nature can bring comfort to all those who suffer. So, why do we continue to teach Anne Frank 70 years after her death in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp? Because hate is taught, racism is taught, intolerance is taught, and we, gathered here today to celebrate this tiny chestnut tree, we seek to teach otherwise. Bringing Anne Frank's story into our communities helps teach us all to respect one another in a shared environment. It teaches us to celebrate diversity rather than view difference as an obstacle. It teaches us to be proactive and to help those in need. And because, as idealistic as it may sound, we, like Anne, believe that in spite of everything, people are truly good at heart. I encourage you to visit Anne's chestnut tree often and and to reflect on the inherent strength within each one of us. For even such small things as this little sapling can provide great inspiration for those who look for it.